Listen closely, my friend. There comes a time in every life when everything we've built seems to fall apart. Dreams shatter, relationships end, opportunities vanish, and what once felt full of light turns into ashes. You stand there staring at what's left, wondering how it all came to this. Maybe it was a loss you never expected, a betrayal you didn't see coming, or a season that stripped away everything you held dear. And in that place of brokenness, it's easy to believe that your story is over. But God whispers a truth that changes everything. Your ashes are not the end. They are the beginning of something beautiful. God specializes in turning ruins into redemption. The same God who created beauty out of chaos in the beginning of time is still creating beauty out of your pain right now. You see, ashes represent what was, the remains of something burned, something consumed. But to God, ashes are not garbage. They are raw material for a miracle. He never wastes pain. He never overlooks tears. Every heartbreak, every disappointment, every dark night you've endured is part of a divine process that leads to restoration. When you bring those ashes to Him instead of hiding them, He begins to exchange them for beauty, beauty of purpose, beauty of peace, beauty of transformation. There's a reason Scripture says He gives beauty for ashes. That means there has to be ashes before there can be beauty. Too many of us try to skip that part. We want resurrection without surrender, healing without heartbreak, growth without pruning. But God allows certain things to burn away because He's making room for something greater. Sometimes He removes what you thought you couldn't live without, only to show you that He alone is enough. The fire that felt like it was destroying you might have actually been refining you. And though it hurts, refinement always precedes revelation. The pain is real, but so is the promise that follows it. When God begins to rebuild, He doesn't patch up what was lost. He makes it new. Think about that. He doesn't restore your life back to how it was. He restores it better than it was. What looks like the end to you is often a divine reset in God's plan. You see ashes, but God sees potential. You see failure, but God sees formation. You see an ending, but God sees the foundation of a new beginning. The problem is we often hold on to the ashes so tightly that He can't place the beauty in our hands. When you finally surrender what's broken, He replaces it with what's blessed. When you release the pain, He releases the purpose hidden within it. There are some of you who are still standing in the ruins of yesterday, replaying what went wrong, asking, why me? But the truth is, sometimes God allows something to be reduced to ashes because He knows it could no longer sustain the future He's calling you into. That job that ended, that relationship that failed, that season that dried up, it had to end so that something new could begin. You can't carry yesterday's ashes into tomorrow's destiny. God cannot fill hands that are already full. You must release the past so He can reveal the promise. When God turns ashes into beauty, it doesn't happen overnight. It's a process. Healing takes time. Trust takes rebuilding. Faith takes endurance. But as you walk through the fire, you'll start to see glimmers of beauty rise from the ashes, small signs that God is working behind the scenes. The same fire that destroyed what was also purified what's left. You are not the same person you were before the storm. You are stronger, wiser, softer in spirit, yet fiercer in faith. The things that used to break you no longer have the same power over you. That's the beauty of ashes. They remind you that destruction didn't have the final word. God did. Sometimes beauty comes in ways you don't expect. It's not always visible in circumstances, but it's visible in your spirit. It's in the peace that makes no sense. It's in the joy that rises even when nothing has changed. It's in the forgiveness that frees your heart from bitterness. That's beauty, the divine kind that only God can give. And when people see it in you, they won't understand how you survived, how you're still smiling, still believing, still standing. But you'll know that it wasn't your strength, it was His grace. So if you're standing among ashes today, don't lose hope. Don't let the fire define you, let it refine you. Don't hold on to what's burned. Hold on to the One who brings beauty from it. You may not see the purpose yet, but one day when you look back, you'll realize that the ashes were not the end of your story. They were the soil where your new beginning began. God is not done with you. He's still writing, still shaping, still turning what was lost into something everlasting. Let Him turn your ashes into beauty, because He never leaves a fire without bringing forth something glorious from it.